Alright, you varmints, reach for the sky. Especially you, Luke McDonald. Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, the media guy, with another one of my incredible movie reviews. And I gotta admit, it has been a while since I did a Western-style movie review. So if you haven't noticed from the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on El Dorado, which is an old school John Wayne type movie. And I assumed if some of you are like big John Wayne fans, which I honestly don't blame you, I'm sure you might have heard about this movie before. Whether you already saw this on TV at some point, saw it in theaters like decades ago, or at least own a VHS and or DVD copy of this like I do. Excuse me, I burped. But in case you're wondering what this is all about, here is the description on the back of the VHS tape. Producer-director Howard Hawks teams up with legendary stars for this drama set in post-Civil War Texas. Robert Merkin plays an alcoholic sheriff who fights greedy cattlemen and empire builders as he tries to almost single-handedly to tame the West. John Wayne is Mitchum's old friend turned gunfighter who comes to town. James Caan offers an eccentric and likable performance with broad stroke of humor. Hawks works with a familiar tone with a Western He-Man who managed to help Mitchum rid the town of its unsavory characters. So I'm not gonna lie, even though I am behind on almost every John Wayne movie ever made, I think this one is a nice little Western movie for everyone to enjoy. Whether you're a John Wayne's fan, a fan of Westerns, or both. It does have an interesting story with a beginning, middle, and end. A lot of gunslinging action throughout most of the movie. Has a great amount of characters to really root for. Mainly the bad guys and the good guys. And sometimes there are a lot of surprises to expect from this movie. I can't think of any other Western movie that's like insane, intense, and action-packed than the others. So you guys could just let me know in the comments below. There is a lot of gunslinging action in this movie, mainly in most of the saloons. Since I'm guessing most fights usually takes place in like a saloon, which I'm guessing that's like a popular Western type joint. Although to be fair, I think there's like plenty of Western saloons in different Western movies. And I guess that includes Back to the Future Part 3, since that is technically a Western movie. Which I'm not sure if it falls into like the Western genre or not. You know, I think John Wayne does have a great performance as Robert Mitchum. And I guess he is sort of like an out-of-town sheriff trying to defeat the McDonald family. And no, not to be associated with the song Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. The MacDonald family are kind of like this bandit type family in the Old West, terrorizing his various citizens in certain places and getting what they want, including robbing banks and whatnot. Thank goodness that Robert Mitchum and his new friend Mississippi are here to save the day in El Dorado. I'm guessing that's like some kind of Mexican type city somewhere in Mexico, or at least somewhere in New Mexico. Not really sure, because I could be wrong. Speaking of which, I do like the Western setting in this movie. I mean, I know that this is a little bit redundant, considering how I previously covered other Western type movies that had like a cool Western type city. Like Scooby-Doo Shaggy Showdown, for example, since that is technically a Western movie. And I think I also covered this movie, The Outlaw Josie Wales. Wait, did I review this movie? For some reason I don't think I have, and now I remember, I also covered this movie before, The Quick and the Dead, which is another type of Western movie. But anyways, there are a lot of great action sequences in this movie. And you know, I'm not sure if this movie takes place somewhere near Texas, California, or New Mexico. Mainly the desert part of either of those states. So you might want to let me know in the comments below. I did like how the sheriff here, this guy, was trying to act like a total drunk skunk and trying to get sobered up to help Mitchum and Mississippi take down the McDonald family. And I'm glad he was starting to get all sobered up, because I guess he was just starting to make fun of in one of the saloons while being drunk as a skunk. Boy, talk about being a laughingstock in the Old West. And I have to admit, most of the death scenes went from quiet to intense. Almost like if this was gonna be like a horror movie. And yeah, I know that wasn't the goal of this movie, to have it be like a horror movie. Although now that I think about it, a Western horror movie does seem a little bit original and quite interesting in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I know that will never happen, but sometimes you never know. A Western horror movie would be pretty cool. And I think this movie is rated PG, but I don't see a PG rating anywhere. Oh well, I'm probably gonna rate it PG-13 in my opinion. I gotta admit, I did have to watch a clip of this movie to be familiar with what it's about. Like one of the McDonald family member gangsters were antagonizing this random customer at a bar, saying if he looks familiar to this Mr. McDonald guy, along with the hat, if it looks familiar to that random customer. And even he said, now why the H would I remember a hat? It did get me laughing a little bit. And the customer actually got a switchblade get stuck in his gut. Ugh. I mean, if you guys did watch this movie, you pretty much know what I mean. Brrr. Talk about gruesome, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So anyways, I honestly think El Dorado is quite an interesting movie. And I'm not talking about this El Dorado animated movie, The Road to El Dorado. Yeah, two of these El Dorado type movies are completely different from each other. But I honestly think this is a very cool Western movie. And I'm glad I managed to do my best to do a little bit of research on this movie before watching it and reviewing it for the first time. So anyways, even though I don't know John Wayne that personally, and no, I'm not that old, I think this is like one of the coolest Western movies he's ever been in. I mean, sure, I have nothing against Clint Eastwood as an actor, since he was in a lot of other movies during his career, including some that I've previously covered on this channel. Like Play Misty for Me, for example. That's one of the Clint Eastwood movies I talked about before. And I also think I remember talking about Heartbreak Ridge before. But this movie is still a blast to watch. And if I ever do find a VHS and/or DVD, if I ever do find a DVD copy of this movie at some point, maybe I might do like a revisit edition review. Although you guys might have to wait a while for that to happen. Oh boy. So I'm gonna give this movie 5 Western tumbleweeds out of 5. And it looks like I'll be covering another Western movie tomorrow, starring Don Knotts in The Shakiest Gun in the West. And I will admit, this is another movie I haven't seen in a long time.